Good morning, dear students. Today we discussed about antiplatelets categories of drugs. These are the some learning objectives of our class. First, we know the path, physiological pharmacology of antiplatelets drugs and their classifications, therapeutic uses, adverse reactions, and contraindications to antiplatelets use. And then currently approved antiplatelet drugs. Then we summarize our class with a discussion about this novel antiplatelet drugs. Before going our topic, we just discuss one case that's related to our topic. Is a 54-year-old man asked about how to reduce the risk of MI. Which of the following is the most effective in reducing the risk of MI? Acetaminophen, aspirin, celecoxib, ibuprofen. Which one? Is aspirin is effective for this treatment of MI. Why? This aspirin is irreversibly inhibits the COX and it effectively eliminate or reduce the thromboxane production by platelets. It's usually administered at low dose and that do not impair the production of beneficial PGI2 by endothelial cells. So in low dose aspirin is act as the effective antiplatelet agent. Next we go to what are the main functions of platelets. Actually this platelet function is regulated by various endogenous substances which are either released within the platelets or from outside the platelets. And these are some of this from the blood vessels, that is from endothelium, and these substances either acts on platelet membrane receptors or in the platelets. Some of these receptors like this ADP, PGD2, PGE2, serotonin, all these acts on the membrane receptors, and some others like CMP, PGG2, all these acts within the platelets. So this antiplatelet, there's different categories of antiplatelet drugs. This acts on the different receptors and this inhibiting the platelet action. Some of the substances are outside the platelet. This PGI2, thromboxane, collagen, and van der Waals factors. Okay, what's the mechanism of platelet mechanism? Mainly this controlling the CMP, the cyclic adenomonophosphate, plays a key role in platelet mechanism. This shows either anti-aggregatory or aggregatory action. If a CMP level in high concentration, this inhibit the platelet adhesion and aggregation. So this release the release of active substances. If a CMP level is in low concentration, this shows the opposite effect. This thromboxane A2 and EDP, this usually inhibits the adenylate cyclase. So this decreases the CMP level and this results the platelet aggregation and adhesion. This PGI2, this mainly stimulates the adenine cyclase, so this increases the CMP level and this causes the anti-aggregatory effects. So this platelet activation, that means the circulating resting platelets usually do not stick to healthy endothelium or each other. This damage to endothelium and constituents of subendothelial matrix are exposed, that includes collagen and van der Waals factor, and this causes the release of thromboxane A2 and adenosine diphosphate. This thromboxane A2 and ADP, these are the pro-aggregatory and vasoconstrictor mediators. These promote the recircuitment of additional platelets. These platelets binds to adhesive proteins, that is contains fibrinogen, fibrin, von Willer factors. So this results the formation of platelet plaque. So this antiplatelets categories of drugs, what's the role? This acts by inhibiting one or other pro-aggregatory mediators or mechanism. The principal function of platelet is to prevent bleeding. How to this prevent bleeding? By thrombus formation. Antiplatelet drugs, this interfere platelet function and these are useful in prophylaxis of thromboembolic disorders. So these are the different categories of antiplatelet drugs. This acts on the different sites. This mainly deactivate the platelet activation. This thromboxane A2 inhibitor, this is the aspirin, is the most widely used one. This used as an antiplatelet from 19th century. Okay, other important drugs are P2Y12, that's ADP receptor antagonist, cyclopidine, clopidogrel, prasugrel, ticagrelor, cannigrelor, and glycoprotein receptor antagonists like abscimab, trabam, iftiban, and PD inhibitors like diprodamol and cilostazol, APR1 receptor antagonist, this varaxazole. Okay, these are the important classes of antiplatelet drugs. This COX inhibitors, the thromboxane A2 synthase inhibitor, aspirin, then P2Y12 receptor blocker, teclopidine, clopidogrel, prasugrel, ticagrelor, cannagrelor, glycoprotein receptor inhibitors like abscimab, iftimate, tirofiban, phosphodiesterase inhibitors, dipyridamole, and cilostazol. These are some newer antiplatelets is PAR1 antagonists, atoxar, Varaxor. Some of these glycoprotein inhibitors also identified, and some of these P2Y12 antagonists, canogrelor, elnogrelor, and some of these thromboxane inhibitors. All are these comes under this newer antiplatelets. Okay, what are the main uses of these antiplatelets categories of drugs? Mainly this used in ischemic heart disease, that is thromboprophylaxis. This prevents the formation of clot and prevent MI. For MI, 300 mg aspirin is given immediately after diagnosis of MA. These help to reduce the risk of reinfection, improve survival, and reduce mortality. For acute MI, usually low dose aspirin is most commonly used in high risk individual. This helps to reduce the incidence of MI and in post MI patient to prevent the recurrent attack. And this is also useful in case of unstable angina, transient ischemic attack in patient with prosthetic heart valves. Aspirin is a thromboxane A2 synthase inhibitor. This usually administered as low dose 75 to 150 mg. This irreversibly acetylates platelets COX-1 and this reduces the production of thromboxane A2. This mainly blocking the COX-1 pathway and reduce the production of thromboxane A2. So this shows the anti-platelet effect, and this lasts for the lifetime of platelets, that is 7 to 10 days. But when this administered at higher dose, this aspirin inhibits both thromboxane A2 and PGI2. So this results the efficacy is reduced. So in low dose aspirin shows the good antiplatelet action. Aspirin is the backbone treatment for all state of atrial thrombosis. Aspirin and other antiplatelet drugs are effectively reduce the incidence of stroke and MI. Aspirin usually orally administered, this shows the rapid absorptions and plasma peak levels on 30 to 40 minutes, and it inhibits platelet functions within 1 hour. And is available as entry coated preparations, but this entry coated preparations, and here this aspirin is administered as low dose. So this shows the poor absorptions, low bioavailability, and this results the inadequate platelet inhibition. These are some common adverse effects of aspirin: gastric irritations and bleeding. Next we come to the drug interactions of aspirin. Aspirin shows the drug interactions with non-selective COX-1 inhibitors like ibuprofen and naproxen. These drugs usually interfere the aspirin antiplatelet effects. When these drugs concurrently administered, these mainly reduce the antiplatelet effect of aspirin. So this results the aspirin become less effective in case of cardioprotection or stroke prevention. Another one is this shows some resistance. If the incapability of aspirin to inhibit COX-1 dependent thromboxane A2 production, this shows the resistance in 1 to 2% treatment failure in case of MI and stroke. Next category drug is phosphodiesterase inhibitors. Dipyridamole comes under the class of Pyrimidine derivative is a vasodilator. This main mechanism is inhibiting the phosphodiesterase and this increase the CMP levels. So this inhibit the platelet aggregation. This usually used in combination with the warfarin. When this combined with the warfarin during post-operative period in patient with prosthetic heart valves. These are some drug interactions with the aspirin and dipyridamole. When this dipyridamole is administered, this shows the wide variety of systemic bioavailability, and then when this in low concentration is compared to aspirin, this available as sustained release drug, this shows the dual therapy. That means this shows the additive effects and this increase the risk of bleeding and headache. So this combination is irrational. Then adverse reactions of these drugs are headache, increased risk of bleeding. If you administer it as high dose, this shows the myocardial ischemia. So this is the limiting factor for the use of this drug dipyridamole. Because in high dose this causes the myocardial ischemia, and other adverse reactions are headache and increased risk of bleeding. It cannot be combined with aspirin. When this combined with aspirin, this increase the risk of bleeding and headache. And dipyridamole, this drug is also shows the interaction with AC inhibitors is the antihypertensive categories of drugs. Both these drugs are vasodilators. Dipyridamole is also shows the vasodilatory property. AC inhibitor is also vasodilatory. So this additive effect, vasodilation and hypertension effects. This another drug is cilostazol is a newer PDE inhibitor. This comes under the 2-oxoquinoline derivative. This is used for the prevention of intermittent claudication in case of peripheral vascular disease. This drug should be avoided in patients with heart failure. This causes the increased cardiovascular mortality, and this drug should be avoided with CYP3A4 and C9 inhibitors. This drug is also crosses this metabolism, also crosses this metabolic enzyme, so cannot be concurrently administered with the drugs that the metabolized through the CYP3A and CYP2 C19 enzymes. Okay, these are the adverse reactions: headache, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, weakness, palpitation, ventricular ectopy. Next category is drug is thienopyridine derivatives is ticlopidine and clopidogrel are the ADP antagonists. These drugs are prodrugs, and these drugs are structurally related. This main role is this inhibits the adenosine diphosphate mediated platelet aggregation. There is no role on PG metabolism, there is prostaglandin metabolism, and there is no action on the glycoprotein receptors. This inhibits only the ADP mediated platelet aggregation. Onset of action of ticlopidine is rapid. This shows the onset of action within hours. Duration of action is also long, 7 to 10 days. And this ticlopidine is used in case of transient ischemic attack, complicated stroke, unstable angina pectoris. And this drug is used as alternative to aspirin in case of cerebrovascular disease. One is superior to aspirin or warfarin type anticoagulants in maintaining coronary stenosis patency. These are some adverse effects: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, leukopenia, agranulocytosis, thrombocytopenia, GI bleeding. This ticlopidine has limited use because of toxicities like bone marrow toxicity, neutropenia, aplastic anemia, thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura. Clopidogrel is the congener of ticlopidine. This drug is also administered as orally. These drugs produce the synergistic effect when this combined with aspirin or glycoprotein antagonist. So aspirin and clopidogrel can be combined. This clopidogrel produce fewer side effects if comparing to ticlopidine, and this drug shows only rarely produce neutropenia and thrombocytopenia. In loading dose 300 mg, clopidogrel shows the more rapid platelet inhibitory action. ADP-induced platelet aggregation is greater when this clopidogrel is administered as 600 mg loading dose is comparing with 300 mg loading dose. Adverse reactions are increased risk of bleeding when is compared with aspirin and fewer GI symptoms, increased incidence of diarrhea and rashes. Significant complications of clopidogrel, this includes development of thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura. These are the some drug interactions. This clopidogrel is a prodrug, and so this biotransformation is metabolism is through by the enzyme CYP3A434. So this causes the drug interaction with this. Those shows the inhibitor actions of these enzymes. Like so, this shows the drug interactions with the statins and proton pump inhibitors. When this combine with the atorvastatin, statin category. This clopidogrel is a prodrug. This causes the generation of metabolites and is also attacks on the pathway of PPR alpha. So this combination results the abnormal bile flow and this results the hepatic injury cholestasis. And some of this antiplatelet activity of clopidogrel is decreases when we is administered with this CYP3A4 inhibitor categories of drugs like erythromycin, macrolides, ketoconazole, calcium antagonists. When this drug is concurrently administered with clopidogrel, this decrease the antiplatelet activity of clopidogrel. Okay. The next category of drug is prasugrel, is a prodrug and is irreversibly P2Y12 receptor blocker and this prevent the platelet activation. This drug shows the rapid onset, more consistent and greater antiplatelet effects. This drug is usually administered orally. This prasugrel shows the rapid oral absorption and its active metabolite reaches peak concentration within 30 minutes. And this active metabolite has a half-life of 4 hours. This drug is more effective and safer if comparing to clopidogrel. Useful drug for patients of acute coronary syndrome undergoing percutaneous coronary intervention. And this drug is also preferred in diabetics. Most notable adverse reaction is bleeding. Main contraindications in case of ischemic stroke, transient ischemic attack. Next important drug is ticagrelor. Comes under the cyclopentyl triazole pyridine category. This reversibly blocker of P2Y12 receptors. It is also metabolized by CYP3A4 and this drug shows the faster onset and offset of platelet inhibition if we comparing to clopidogrel. And these drugs reduce the death in acute coronary syndrome as compared to clopidogrel. This ticagrelor is orally administered. This shows the rapid absorption, but it does not require hepatic biotransformations to be pharmacologically active. Platelet inhibition shows the 2 to 4 hours and terminal half-life is approximately 7 hours. Ticagrelor, this is the loading dose and maintenance dose. Adverse reactions are dysphonia, bleeding. Canigrelor, this ADP receptor antagonist, this also comes under this newer one, is the reversible inhibitor of platelet P2Y12 ADP receptor. This shows the greater inhibition of platelet aggregation is comparing to clopidogrel. Canigrelor, this available as IV form is IV administration shows the rapid onset of action. Elimination half-life is 9 minutes. Platelet activities usually returns to its normal state within 60 minutes after interruption of drug. Canigrelor, this mainly metabolized through this sequential dephosphorylation. So this drug is mainly used in patients with renal or hepatic function abnormalities. Adverse reactions are bleeding, transient increase in liver enzyme and dysphonia. Next we come to this glycoprotein receptor antagonist drugs like this abscimab, eftilagimod, tirofiban. This also blocks the glycoprotein receptors for fibrinogen and von Willer factors on platelet surface, and this mainly inhibiting the final step in the process of platelet aggregation. These glycoprotein receptors categories of drugs are usually administered parenterally. This used in patients with acute coronary syndrome and is also used as an adjuvant therapy during percutaneous coronary intervention. Notable side effects are bleeding. These glycoprotein inhibitors are more complete inhibitors if comparing to aspirin or clopidogrel or ticlopidine, because this categories mainly inhibits final pathway in platelet aggregation, whether it is mediated by ADP or thromboxane A2. But this aspirin, this blocks only thromboxane A2 pathway, clopidogrel blocks only ADP pathway, but this glycoprotein inhibit the final pathway in the platelet aggregation, whether it is mediated by ADP or thromboxane A2. So this glycoprotein inhibitor shows the more complete inhibitor action comparing to other drugs like aspirin, clopidogrel, ticlopidine. This abscimab is a humanized monoclonal antibody against GP2B3A receptors, and this eftilagimod, tirofiban and lemifibran, these are the competitive inhibitors of this receptor. If you're comparing these three drugs, abscimab, eftilagimod, tirofiban, and this abscimab shows the shorter T-half, but this eftilagimod and tirofiban is longer half-lives. Platelet-bound T-half is longer with the abscimab. Next, prostacyclin analogs categories. These are newer one. This mainly blocks the all pathways of platelet activation and inhibits this glycoprotein receptor activation, directly inhibit platelet aggregation. Epoprostenol, these are used one, but this use is very limited because they shows the shorter T half is 3 minutes, and this IV infusion decrease the platelet loss during dialysis. Is a potent vasodilator, so this shows the headache and flushing. Another analog is this lipoprostol, is a longer acting one. This thromboxane synthase inhibitor, this desoxiban, is used in Raynaud's syndrome. These are some newer analogs. Others are cilostazol, is a phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitors with vasodilator and anti-platelet aggregatory properties. Ridogenol is a dual action, this blocking the thromboxane A2 receptor and also inhibiting the synthesis of thromboxane A2. Another newer category is protease activated receptors. This PAR1 receptor antagonist is the Varaxar. These drugs mainly inhibit the PAR1 and thrombin receptor antagonist. This is mainly used in case of acute coronary syndrome to reduce the risk of heart attack. Usually, the patients having the history of MI. Main disadvantages of this drug is high risk of bleeding, so this should be avoided the history of stroke, transient ischemic attack or intracanal bleeding. Okay, next we summarize the currently used oral anti-platelet drugs. This most used one is aspirin, clopidogrel, ticlopidine, prasugrel, ilnogirol, kenigirol, tigogerol, dipyridamole, cilostazol. These drugs are mainly used. This aspirin, this mainly acts on the COX enzymes, and this reduce the production of thromboxane, and this shows the antiplatelet effects at low dose. Other most commonly used ones, clopidogrel, ticlopidine, prasugrel. All these acts on the P2Y12 receptor blockage, and kenigirol, tigogerol, PD inhibitors, dipyridamole is also commonly used one. These are the some approved antiplatelet drugs: ticlopidine, clopidogrel, prasugrel, tigogerol, abscimab, eftilagimod, tirofiban. All these glycoproteins categories of drugs administered as parenteral administration. Others are administered orally, and most of these drugs shows the common side effects like bleeding or thrombocytopenic purpura. Okay, these are the some antiplatelet drugs that's under development: elnogirol, kenigirol, Varaxor, Atoxor, all these are in the development stage. So soon we expect some of the newer antiplatelet drugs. This canogirol is also now tried for this treatment of seriously ill patients, so COVID-19 patients. So soon we can expect more newer antiplatelet drugs. Okay, thank you.